Hi, I'm Mark, 35, and the night my wife chose her family over me, word for word, I choose them, was the night I realized my marriage wasn't a partnership. It was a subscription plan I'd apparently been financing alone. Let me drop you right into the moment things detonated. I got home from work, normal Monday, nothing dramatic, opened the door, and immediately felt something was wrong. The apartment was too quiet. Too staged. Like someone had reset it to factory settings. Then I turned the corner into the living room and froze. My wife's entire family was sitting on my couch. All of them. Her father, arms crossed like he was here to negotiate a hostage release. Her mother, already pre-crying, warming up the tear ducts. Her sister, giving me this judgmental eyebrow like I'd been caught shoplifting. Her brother, smug, leaning forward, clearly thrilled for whatever performance was about to begin. And my wife, standing next to them, wringing her hands like she was auditioning for a role as nervous background woman number 2 in a courtroom drama. Babe, she said, voice tight. Everyone wanted to talk to us about something important. About the crypto thing. The crypto thing. Right. Her brother's latest obsession, the family investment pool. The magical unicorn crypto scheme that would allegedly turn every $10,000 into a yacht and beachfront real estate. He'd been pushing the whole family into it for months, bragging about his 22% returns, like he invented modern finance. And now they were here. In my home. Sitting on my furniture. Breathing my oxygen. Ready to corner me like I was a raccoon in the attic. Her father stood first. We wanted to have a family discussion about this investment opportunity. I took off my jacket, hung it calmly, and said, I'm not interested. You haven't even heard the full pitch. Her brother said, puffing up like a crypto peacock. I don't need to. I'm not putting my savings into crypto. He scoffed. Dude, I've made 22% this year. Great. I said. Do it with your money. Her sister jumped in immediately, like someone hit the tag team buzzer. But you're hoarding money that could help everyone. That's not what marriage is about. Her mom burst into tears on cue. This is what family does. She sobbed. We support each other. I do support family, I said. I pay our bills. I take care of our household. That is supporting family. Her dad stepped forward now. But you're refusing to help this family unite and grow. This isn't unity, I said. It's extortion with appetizers. My wife was silent. Completely silent. And that silence said more than anything. For the next hour, yes, an actual hour, they lectured, guilt-tripped, emotionally blackmailed, and tried every angle known to mankind. You're selfish. You're disrespecting us. You don't trust us. A real husband shares everything. You're insulting us by refusing. Every time, same answer from me. No. Finally, her father made his big dramatic move. He turned to my wife. We need to know where his loyalties are. And yours. Her brother nodded. Maybe you need to make a choice, sis. Her mother sobbed louder. Just tell him. Tell him he's hurting us. Her dad pointed at her, then at me. Tell him. Us or him. The room froze. I looked at my wife. She looked at her family. She looked back at me. Can't you just do this for us? She said. For me? No, I said. Because it's my money. I earned it. And I'm not gambling it away. She closed her eyes. When she opened them again, she said it. I choose them. 5 seconds of silence followed. The kind where you hear your entire relationship crack like ice. I stood up. Calm. Clear. Okay, I said. You chose. That's clear. Then I walked to the bedroom, closing the door on the stunned chorus behind me. What they didn't know was that inside that room, sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, something inside me clicked permanently. And the next move I made would end our marriage before any of them even realized the game was already over. I sat on the edge of the bed for maybe 30 seconds, just long enough to register the quiet thrum under my ribs that wasn't sadness or panic. It was clarity. The kind people say hits you all at once, but really it's been building brick by brick for years. Every weird comment from her dad. Every entitled assumption from her brother. Every guilt trip her mother delivered like she'd earned a varsity letter in emotional manipulation. Every time my wife said, "That's just how they are." And now she'd chosen them. Out loud. Definitively. Not in the heat of an argument. Not under stress. Not in a moment she'd later claim she didn't mean. No. She said it stone cold. I choose them. So I googled divorce attorneys. Right there with her entire family 12 feet away in our living room discussing whether I needed discipline. Found one with good reviews, 4.9 stars, lots of comments about her being ruthless in court. Perfect. Sent an email. Wife chose her family over me when given ultimatum. Need consultation ASAP. 2 minutes later, my wife knocked on the door. Can I come in? She asked. No, I said. She paused. Mark, they didn't mean it like. They meant it exactly like that, I said. And so did you. I heard her exhale shakily. You're taking this too seriously, she whispered. Good to know how you feel, I said. You can go back to your family now. She didn't respond. Didn't knock again. Just turned around and left. I heard the murmur of voices as she rejoined them, her mother's breathy cries, her sister's indignation, her brother gloating like he'd won something. Her father said, loud enough for me to hear through the door, "He just needs to calm down. He'll come around." "Sure, buddy." A quiet ding sounded on my phone. The attorney had responded. Phone consultation available tonight at 8. Perfect. I stood, straightened my shirt, and walked back out. Everyone needs to leave, I said, voice flat. Her brother smirked. You don't tell us. My apartment, I interrupted. My name on the lease. Get out. Her dad puffed up like he was about to give a TED talk on authority. You need to calm down and think about this rationally. I already did, I said. You gave her an ultimatum. She chose you. Congratulations. Now leave. Her mother gasped. Her sister whispered, Unbelievable. My wife looked like she wanted to say something but didn't have the words. So I opened the door. And they filed out, one by one, muttering like I'd personally canceled Christmas. My wife stayed last. Mark, she said softly, can we talk about this later? No, I said. We're done talking. I closed the door on her mid-exhale. At 8 p.m. sharp, I called the attorney. Explained everything. The ambush. The demand for my savings. The ultimatum. The choice. She said the words that sealed my decision even deeper. You need to file immediately before she tries to claim residency rights or access your accounts. Document everything. And move out now, not later. So I filed that night. Paid the rush fee. Submitted documentation. And then I started packing. Not angrily. Not frantically. Just efficiently. Calmly. 3 days passed while she stayed with her parents, assuming I'd eventually come to my senses. She texted things like, We need to talk. I love you. You're overreacting. My family was just trying to help. I didn't answer. I packed. Documented everything. Took photos. Called movers. Lined up a month-to-month rental. And then I walked out of that apartment and left the key on the counter. When she finally came home, she walked into an empty living room. An empty bedroom. An empty home. And she screamed my name so loudly the neighbor texted me later to ask if someone had died. In a way, something had. And I was already building a new life before she even realized the old one was gone. The turning point, the real one, didn't happen the night she found the empty apartment. It happened 3 days later, when her entire family went nuclear. But let me back up. When she came home to the empty place, she called me 17 times in a row. I didn't answer. My attorney had already warned me. No contact except through lawyers. She may try emotional manipulation, apologies, anger, threats, ignore all of it. So I did. After she realized I wasn't coming running back like a loyal retriever, she escalated in predictable stages. Stage 1, confusion. Mark? Where are you? Why is everything gone? Stage 2, anger. You're being ridiculous. Come home now. Stage 3, panic. Please, please, please talk to me. I didn't mean it, my family pressured me. Stage 4, bargaining. Just come meet me for coffee. 5 minutes. I'll explain. I ignored all of it. Her attorney reached out instead, professional, calm, trying to do damage control. But the next stage wasn't hers. It was her family's. And it was a doozy. It happened on a Wednesday. I got off work, walked into my new rental, still half-boxed, half-settled, and immediately felt something was wrong. Because my front door was unlocked. I froze, phone in hand, pushed the door open, and nearly swallowed my tongue. Her entire family was sitting inside my new apartment. All of them. Again. Her father in a folding chair like some kind of mafia consigliere. Her mother clutching tissues like she was auditioning for a soap opera. Her sister glaring at me like I'd personally clubbed a baby seal. Her brother leaning back with the arrogance of a guy who once made $600 on Dogecoin and now thinks he's Warren Buffett. And my wife, standing behind them, like she'd brought a jury to sentence me. What are you doing in my apartment? I asked, already done with all of them. Her dad stood first. We need to talk. No, I said. You need to leave. Her brother jumped in. Dude, stop being dramatic. You can't divorce her over one mistake. I stared at him. You gave her an ultimatum, us or him. Her sister chimed in. She didn't mean it the way it sounded. She said it clearly. I snapped. And you pressured her into it. Her mother sniffed loudly. We were trying to protect our family's future. By stealing my savings? She gasped like I'd slapped her. Her dad stepped closer. You're destroying this marriage. Drop the divorce. No. You owe us a chance to talk this through. I owe you nothing. He took another step. You need to stop acting like a child and... I raised my hand. One more step and I'm calling the police. He stopped. Finally, my wife spoke. Her voice cracked. Mark, please. I didn't know what to do that night. I panicked. They were all staring at me. You invited them, I said quietly. You planned it with them. I've seen the texts. Her face strained of color. Her brother turned toward her. What texts? She didn't answer. Her sister hissed. You told him? Her dad snapped. What did you tell him? Her mother whimpered. What texts? What's he talking about? And suddenly the room shifted. All their eyes turned on her. The girl they pressured. The girl they used. The girl who said, I choose them. And she crumbled. Okay, she blurted. Okay, fine. We talked about it before. We thought if we all pushed at once he'd say yes. Her brother's face twisted. You idiot, now he thinks we were manipulating him. You were manipulating me, I said. Her dad stared at her. You weren't supposed to tell him. Her mom burst into fresh tears. You ruined everything. My wife spun toward them, shaking. You told me to choose. You forced me into it. Her dad barked. Because you didn't stand up for us. Her sister added. If you'd stayed strong, he wouldn't have left. Her brother yelled. You cost us 50 grand. Ah. There it was. The real reason. I watched their family crack straight down the middle right there in my living room. Everyone yelling at everyone else. Everyone pointing fingers. Everyone blaming her. No one taking responsibility. She turned to me, eyes red, breath shaking, her voice barely above a whisper. Mark, please, can we just fix this? And I said the most honest sentence of our entire marriage. You already made your choice. And now I'm living mine. Silence. No yelling now. No accusations. Just a stunned, hollow quiet. Then I pointed at the door. Get out. For the first time, her father didn't argue. Her mother didn't cry. Her brother didn't posture. Her sister didn't sneer. They all just left. She stayed for one last second, looking at me like she wanted to say something, an apology, an excuse, a plea, but whatever it was died before it reached her lips. She walked out too. And for the first time since this whole disaster started, I felt something lift off my chest. This wasn't a breakup. This wasn't a fight. This was the turning point. The moment I realized I didn't just want the divorce. I needed it. The morning after the great family invasion of my rental, my attorney called me at 8 a.m. sharp, way too chipper for someone who probably spent her life reading affidavits and human misery. Mark, she said, I just want to personally congratulate you. On what? I asked, still making coffee and trying to forget the image of my ex-in-laws perched on my IKEA dining chairs like judgmental pigeons. On your case turning from a standard divorce into a slam-dunk legal masterpiece. I blinked. Come again? You now have evidence of coordinated financial pressure, attempted coercion, boundary violations, harassment, and a restraining order-level home intrusion. This is a Christmas buffet for a divorce attorney. I took a slow sip of coffee. Great, I said. Glad someone's enjoying the show. Oh, I am, she said. I absolutely am. Then she got serious. I'm filing an emergency motion today for exclusive possession of your rental, a no-contact order, and a restraining order against her family. Good, I said. Do it. She hesitated for the first time. Mark, I've handled messy divorces. But this family is uniquely unhinged. Prepare yourself. They're going to escalate before they implode. I didn't doubt her. But I still wasn't prepared for what happened next. It started with stupid stuff. Harassment through third parties. Mutual acquaintances texting me things like, she didn't mean it. They pressured her. She's miserable without you. I ignored it. Then her sister texted me directly. You're destroying her life over nothing. Blocked. Then her brother, the crypto clown, sent this gem. Real men don't run. Cowards do. Thought you were better than that. Blocked. Then her dad tried emailing me. Drop the divorce and we'll forget your behavior. Blocked. Then her mom sent a 6-paragraph essay about forgiveness, family unity, and how money comes and goes but loyalty is forever. Blocked. Every time I blocked one number, a new one showed up. Her family was treating divorce like a group project they refused to fail. But then things escalated from annoying to dangerous. Day 4 of the harassment. My apartment building manager called me. Mark? Someone filed a complaint that you're illegally subletting your unit. What? I asked. He sighed. I inspected. Everything is fine. But this is the third complaint from someone. I can't keep ignoring them. It's my ex-wife's family, I said. We're in court. The manager groaned. I hate domestic disputes. They always spill into the building. He typed something loudly in the background. I'll document this as harassment. But if they keep filing complaints, I'll have to escalate. I thanked him, hung up, and immediately called my attorney. She wasn't surprised. They're trying to ruin your rental so you lose housing and become financially unstable, she said calmly, as if describing a weather pattern. Are you serious? I asked. Oh, yes. It's a classic tactic from aggressive families. Destroy your foundation, then pressure you to reconcile. It was disturbing how normal she made it sound. Isn't that illegal? Oh, absolutely, she said brightly. That's why we're adding it to the motion. But then it got worse. Much worse. 2 days later, my bank called. Mr. Davis? Someone tried to access your online banking account. They had your name, birthday, and partial SSN. I felt my chest tighten. Who? I asked. We can't see the identity, but they failed security questions. We've locked your account temporarily. I knew exactly who. Her family had enough of her personal info, from who knows where, to attempt identity access. I changed every password I owned, enabled every security setting known to man, and again called my attorney. Her reaction was immediate. That's a restraining order level offense, she said. If it links back to them, we're looking at criminal exposure. I wasn't shaking, but my jaw was clenched so tight it hurt. Mark, she said gently, I know this feels overwhelming, but trust me, this is all going to backfire on them spectacularly. And she was right. Because the breaking point, the moment everything snapped, arrived that Friday morning in the form of a voicemail from her father. He left it on my work phone. A restraining order violation. And the message? Not an apology. Not a plea. Not even anger. But this. If you just invested, none of this would have happened. You think you're protecting yourself? You're destroying your wife. You will regret this. Drop the divorce and be a man. That was it. The moment the universe stopped asking politely and threw down the gauntlet. And I realized her family wasn't going to stop. They weren't going to back off. They weren't going to move on. They weren't going to accept my decision. They were going to burn everything to the ground, including her, if it meant getting what they wanted. And that was the moment, right there, when the sides of this story finally flipped. It wasn't me versus them anymore. It was them versus consequences. The morning after her father left that threatening voicemail on my work phone, violating the restraining order before the ink was even dry, I met my attorney in her office. She had the voicemail transcribed, printed, highlighted, and paper-clipped like it was exhibit number 1 in a mafia trial. Mark, she said, tapping the page, this is gold. That's one word for it, I muttered. She slid a folder toward me. Here's what we're doing next, filing for a full restraining order against her entire family, requesting immediate sanctions, and including your landlord's harassment incidents, the attempted bank access, and yesterday's voicemail. I exhaled slowly. Will they fight this? Oh, absolutely, she said, sounding delighted. They'll try to argue they're the victims. They'll cry. They'll posture. But the law will pin them like bugs under glass. She wasn't wrong. And she wasn't done. I'm also subpoenaing their phones. I blinked. Why? Because online bank access attempts leave digital traces. And I want them. I stared at her. Remind me never to get on your bad side. She smiled. Wise choice. 2 days later the hearing came. A simple restraining order hearing. Should have taken 20 minutes. Instead, it took nearly 2 hours. Her entire family showed up. Her parents in matching anger faces. Her sister looking ready to testify at Salem. Her brother trying to appear cool but sweating like a raccoon in July heat. My wife quietly sniffling next to her lawyer. My attorney stood beside me radiating cold, professional annihilation. The judge leaned back. We have multiple incidents of harassment, attempted access to financial accounts, uninvited entry into the petitioner's residence, and a threatening voicemail. Is that correct? Her dad stood. Of course he stood. Your Honor, this is a misunderstanding. We were simply trying to reason with him. My attorney interrupted before he could finish. Your Honor, I have the voicemail. The judge held out his hand. Her dad froze like he'd been unplugged mid-sentence. They played the message. Her dad's voice boomed through the speakers. If you just invested, none of this would have happened. Drop the divorce and be a man. The courtroom went dead silent. The judge looked at him over his glasses. Sir, what exactly about that sounds like reasoning to you? Her dad's mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. Nothing came out. The judge turned to my attorney. Restraining order granted for 1 year. Then he turned to her family. And if any of you contact him again for any reason not handled through legal channels, you will be held in contempt. That includes complaints to landlords. Am I clear? Her mom burst into tears. Her dad muttered something. Her brother rolled his eyes. Her sister glared at me like I'd murdered her houseplants. My wife just stared at the floor. Then the judge delivered the final hammer. Oh, and petitioner retains sole possession of his residence. Respondent is barred from entering the property effective immediately. Boom. Game over. Except, it wasn't. Not even close. That afternoon, while I was finally enjoying a peaceful moment on my couch, I got a message from a mutual friend. She texted, "Are you sitting down?" I replied, "Should I be?" Then she sent a screenshot. It was a post from my ex-wife's brother's Facebook account, a long, dramatic rant about fake men who abandon their wives and refuse to support extended family. Ending with, "Some people value money over family." Pathetic. Comments were pouring in. "You're better off without him. He sounds abusive. What trash behavior. His poor wife." I didn't respond. But then, 10 minutes later, my brother jumped in. He commented, "Funny story. Shame you left out the part where your family demanded $85,000 for a crypto investment, pressured him, staged an ambush, demanded my brother choose them or else, and his wife said I choose them. He simply honored her choice." The comments section went nuclear. People immediately began asking questions. The post was deleted within 20 minutes. Damage done. That night my wife's attorney contacted mine. The message? She wants to work things out. My attorney laughed so hard she had to mute herself. She wants reconciliation? I asked. Apparently. No. She also wants mediation. No. She wants to explain her side. No. She says she panicked and didn't mean. I heard her clearly. And so did her family. My attorney stopped chuckling, voice firm again. Good. Hold your ground. The next phase will be them scrambling. She was right. Because the real turning point wasn't the restraining order. It wasn't the meltdown in my apartment. It wasn't the courtroom. It was what happened next. Something none of us saw coming. The thing that broke her family from the inside. What was it? The crypto platform, the one they pressured me to join, the one they worship like a financial messiah, collapsed. Everything they invested evaporated. Every dollar. Gone. And suddenly, every finger in that family pointed somewhere new. At her. At the daughter who couldn't convince me to hand over my $85,000. At the wife who chose them, but failed to deliver the money they wanted. And now they wanted someone to blame. And they weren't picking each other. The crypto collapse hit like a meteor. One morning, the platform was evangelized by her brother like it was the financial second coming. That afternoon, it was frozen. Withdrawals blocked. Accounts locked. Rumors swirling. By the next day, headlines everywhere. Crypto platform under investigation, possible Ponzi scheme. I saw the news while eating lunch at my desk. I stared at the article for a full minute, then let out a slow, quiet laugh that startled my coworker. It wasn't joy. It wasn't revenge. It was the dawning realization that her family had finally met an opponent even more unhinged than them. A Ponzi scheme. And they walked into it like it was Disneyland. Within hours, my phone blew up, not with calls from them, thanks to the restraining order, but with messages from mutual friends who desperately wanted to gossip. Friends never text you. Call me ASAP. Because good news happened. One wrote, "Bro, her family is imploding." Another, "Her dad is screaming at her brother." Like actual screaming. I could hear it through the phone. A third, "Did you hear about her mom's inheritance? Gone." I put my phone face down, leaned back in my chair, and let out a long breath. Choices. Consequences. Simple as math. But apparently, for her family, Math required tears, shouting, and blame distribution. Because that same evening, the voicemail arrived. Her dad violating the restraining order again. His voice was ragged and furious. "This is your fault. If you'd invested with us, we'd have had enough money in the pool to get out before the crash. You ruined everything." I hung up mid-rant and immediately forwarded it to my attorney. She called back laughing. "I'm sorry," she said, wheezing. "I know it's serious, but the mental gymnastics is Olympic level." Then she composed herself. "I'll file for sanctions tomorrow." Meanwhile, their meltdown was turning biblical. Her family started cannibalizing itself. Here's what friends told me, and these people didn't even try to hide the drama. Her dad blamed her brother for misleading the family. Her brother blamed her dad for forcing everyone to invest too much. Her mom blamed both of them for losing her inheritance. Her sister blamed my ex-wife for not doing her job as the married one and securing my money. And my ex-wife? Caught in the middle with no money, no husband, and no one left to shield her from the fallout. Her mother reportedly said, "If you had just convinced him, we wouldn't be in this position." Her father supposedly told someone at church, "Our daughter married a selfish man who abandoned her when we needed him most." That someone also told them, "Didn't she choose you over him?" They didn't like that. Her brother went online posting vague, self-pitying messages about snakes in the family. Her sister actually messaged my brother, "Your family ruined our lives." He responded, "You did that yourselves." Blocked instantly. Then came the next wave of legal nonsense. Her attorney filed a motion claiming my wife was coerced into saying, "I choose them." My attorney neatly placed the group chat texts on the judge's metaphorical plate. The messages where they planned the intervention, where they strategized how to pressure me, where my wife told them exactly how much I had saved, where they discussed approaching me as a unified front, where she said, "He won't accept it unless we push him." When her attorney saw them during discovery, she reportedly turned to my ex-wife and said, "You didn't tell me about these." Her family turned on her again. Her sister, "Why did you put that in writing?" Her brother, "You just made us all look guilty." Her dad, "You should have deleted those texts." My ex-wife cried. Again. The next hearing wiped out their entire argument in 10 minutes. Her attorney tried to say she felt pressured to choose. My attorney responded cool as ice. She wasn't pressured by my client. She was pressured by her own family into demanding my client's separate financial assets. We have the written proof. The judge, God bless that man, didn't even blink. Motion denied. Her family looked like they'd been slapped by a celestial hand. My ex-wife cried again. Her mother cried louder. Her father clenched his jaw so hard I thought he'd crack a tooth. Her brother whispered something like, "Unbelievable." Their plan was dead. Their crypto was dead. Their finances were dead. Their credibility? Cremated. And there I was, sitting next to my attorney, feeling nothing. Just a distant, cold clarity. This wasn't about love. It wasn't about marriage. It wasn't about family. It was about entitlement. Their belief that my savings were communal property simply because their last name matched my wife's. And now? They were drowning in the mess they made. And for the first time, none of them could point the finger at me. Even though they'd try one last time. Because once her family lost their money, their pride, and their ability to legally harass me, they switched strategies. They tried sympathy. Which was almost cute. Until it wasn't. It started with her attorney reaching out, again. "She wants to meet in person," her lawyer said, voice tired. "She feels she wasn't heard properly." "No," I said. "She's willing to apologize." "No. She's going through a lot." "And whose fault is that?" The attorney sighed. "Mark, look. I know you won't reconcile. I can hear that. But she is truly distraught. Not my emergency." Understood. She hung up, 5 minutes later, my attorney texted me. Her family is going to try something. Don't go anywhere alone. And do not let any of them in your apartment. I read that twice. Then 3 hours later it happened. I came home from work. Walked up the stairs. Turned the corner toward my apartment door. And froze. Because my wife was sitting on the hallway floor. Back against the wall. Knees pulled to her chest. Hair a mess. Makeup smeared. Eyes swollen. Wearing one of my old hoodies like a costume from our past. She shot up the second she saw me. Mark, please, just talk to me. Move away from my door, I said. I need to explain. No. I made a mistake, she yelled, voice cracking. Is that what you want to hear? I didn't answer. She pressed on. My family was pressuring me. I didn't know what to do. They were yelling at me. They were all looking at me. And you said the quiet part out loud. I interrupted. I choose them. She flinched hard. That's not what I meant. Then you should have said what you meant. She grabbed my arm. Instinctively, I pulled back. She froze, eyes filling. You don't even want me to touch you? No, I said. I don't want you anywhere near me. She sucked in a breath like it physically hurt. Mark. I was scared. My dad kept telling me you'd leave me if I didn't support the family. My mom cried. My brother said we'd never have a future without that investment. Everyone has excuses, I said. But only one person made the choice. Her voice broke. They're turning on me now. They say I should have convinced you. They say this is my fault. They say you would have helped if I'd been a better wife. I looked at her quietly. That sounds like a family problem. Her chin trembled. I want to come home, she whispered. You don't have a home with me, I said. Her knees gave out a little. She leaned against the wall for balance. You don't understand. I lost everything. My family hates me. I'm working full-time just to help my parents. I'm exhausted. I cry every night. All consequences, I said calmly, of the choice you made. She wiped her face angrily. You're heartless. No, I said. I'm done. Her anger flared. You think you're better than us? You think you're right about everything? You think you're some kind of hero for abandoning your wife? I honored your words, I said. Most people don't even get that. She stared at me. Then, in the softest, most broken voice I'd ever heard from her, I wish I had chosen you. For one moment, one tiny flicker, I felt something in my chest tighten. But then I remembered. The ambush. The ultimatum. The crypto scheme. The entitlement. The harassment. The lies. The intrusion into my new apartment. The bank breach attempt. Her father's voicemail. Her brother's rant. Her mother's guilt trips. Her family exploding like a deranged fireworks show. And I felt nothing. Good luck, I said quietly. With the people you chose. She broke. Collapsed into quiet, breathy sobs. And then, finally, she stood. Stumbled away. Down the hall. Down the stairs. Out of my life. My attorney called 10 minutes later. She showed up, didn't she? Yeah. Did you let her inside? No. Good. She'll try again. This is the bargaining stage. After that comes anger again, then resignation. I leaned back against my locked door. What do I do now? You wait, she said. You let the process play out. And you do not let her grief become your responsibility. Was she ever actually sorry? I asked. No, my attorney said gently. She's overwhelmed. But sorry? That's different. And she was right. Because 1 week later, the final hearing approached. Her family had collapsed financially. Her brother lost his girlfriend. Her parents lost their retirement. Her sister blamed everyone. She lost the marriage she'd taken for granted. And now it all came down to part 8. The end of the marriage. The end of the chaos. And the moment I closed the door for good. The final hearing felt less like a courtroom proceeding and more like the last scene of a tragedy where everyone finally realizes they wrote the script themselves. I walked in calm, composed, coffee in hand. She walked in with her attorney, eyes red, hair pulled back too tightly, shoulders tense. She looked smaller. And tired. And like she hadn't slept in days. Her family? Not allowed within 500 feet thanks to the restraining order. Bless the judicial system. Her attorney gave me a brief nod, professional, polite, exhausted from trying to clean up a disaster she didn't create. My attorney was all business. Crisp suit. Stacked binders. Zero sympathy for anyone who tried to sabotage my bank account. The judge entered, glanced through the paperwork, and sighed the sigh of a man who had seen far too much nonsense for one judicial career. All right, he said. Let's finalize this. Her attorney launched into a speech about emotions, pressure, regret, misunderstandings, hopes for reconciliation. One last Hail Mary. The judge held up a hand. Stop. Reconciliation is off the table. Petitioner is firm in his request. Respondent has had multiple opportunities. We are determining division of assets, not debating the marriage. Her attorney wilted. Then my attorney stood. Your Honor, we request 50/50ths of marital assets only. No spousal support. Petitioner keeps his premarital savings, documented clearly. No compensation claims. Each party pays their own legal fees. Respondent must vacate the apartment fully. Continued no contact requirements outside legal channels. The judge turned to my ex-wife. Any objections? She didn't speak. Didn't even look up. Her attorney leaned down, whispered something. She shook her head. Her voice came out soft, hoarse. No objections. That was it. 7 years of marriage. One catastrophic choice. And now a legal footnote. The judge stamped the paperwork. Divorce granted. Case closed. Her shoulders crumpled like the words physically hit her. We walked out into the hallway. She approached slowly, hesitant, careful, like I was a wild animal she didn't want to scare. Mark, she said. I didn't respond. She swallowed. I never stopped loving you. I nodded once. But you stopped choosing me, I said. She flinched. I wish I could take it back. You can't. She looked at the floor. My family, they're blaming me for everything. That's because you were the easiest target in the room, I said. But that doesn't make you innocent. Her eyes filled. I know. There was silence, long, heavy, real. Then she whispered the sentence she should have said the night they ambushed me. I should have chosen you. I didn't smile. Didn't soften. Didn't say the dramatic forgiveness line people put in movies. I just said, I hope you learn from it. She nodded, small, broken. Goodbye, Mark. Goodbye. She walked away slowly, wiping tears, every step an echo of choices she couldn't undo. And I didn't follow. 6 months later, my life didn't just recover, it upgraded. My apartment felt like actual peace, not a negotiation zone. My job promoted me. I adopted a dog, big ears, terrible at fetch, perfect company. I slept well. Really well. I learned to enjoy quiet. And space. And meals without someone silently judging me for not funding her brother's crypto empire. I started dating again, not rushing, not desperate, just living. Meeting people who didn't see my savings as community property. People with boundaries. People who said us, without meaning. Me, my parents, my siblings, and every terrible financial idea we've ever had. My savings? Still untouched. Still growing. Still mine. And her family? The last update I heard, through the unstoppable hurricane of gossip known as mutual acquaintances, was that her dad is working again at nearly 70. Her mom is furious they lost her inheritance and blames everyone. Her brother is single, broke, and pretending the collapse was strategic repositioning. Her sister resents all of them. And my ex-wife is living with her parents, drowning in their bitterness, doing everything she can to keep the peace I walked away from. Poetic in a dark, quiet way. Not revenge. Just consequences. Do I ever wonder? What if? Sometimes. But the truth is simple. She said, I choose them. I said, understood. And the world unfolded exactly the way it needed to after that. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm not mourning. I'm free. And when someone shows you who they are, especially when they think you'll cave, you believe them. That's the story. Chapter closed. New life underway. And every day I'm grateful I protected the one person her family never cared to protect. Myself.